Okay, let's just admit it, the market right now feels, well, pretty anxious. But through all that noise, one theme is shining incredibly bright: artificial intelligence. It really does feel like a modern-day gold rush, with everyone scrambling for a piece of the action. But in any gold rush, there's always one big question. Do you bet on the people selling the shovels, or the ones actually digging for gold? Today, we're going to figure out who's really set to win.
All right, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll get a handle on why the wider market is so on edge. Then, we'll dive into the AI hype machine itself. But the real story, and this is the important part, is just under the surface. We're going to look at the companies using AI to totally transform their businesses. And that's going to help us answer the ultimate question: where is the real value hiding?
So first up, let's just unpack all this anxiety. Because to really understand why AI is such a massive deal right now, you first have to see the kind of gloomy landscape it's shining through.
So why is everyone so nervous? Well, it really comes down to this strange dance happening between parts of the market that frankly aren't supposed to move together like this.
Take a look at this. We've got the tech-heavy NASDAQ 100 stock index, basically in a mirror dance with interest rates. When one zigs, the other zags. They're locked together, and that kind of relationship is making the stock market incredibly unpredictable.
And the anxiety isn't just in stocks. This chart shows that both stock and bond volatility, which is just a fancy way of saying market shakiness, are moving together. When everything gets risky at the exact same time, there's really nowhere safe for investors to hide their money.
And so, unsurprisingly, this is what happens. This is Goldman Sachs' risk appetite indicator, and you can see it's just hugging the floor. The pros are feeling very, very cautious, and they are pulling back on risk. But in the middle of all this gloom, there is one signal that is shining brighter than anything else. And that bright signal, you guessed it, is artificial intelligence. It's the one area that seems to be completely ignoring all the market pessimism. I mean, the public interest is just staggering. This chart shows search interest for tensor processing units. These are the super specialized chips that are the real engines of AI. This isn't some gradual rise, people. It is an absolute explosion. The hype is focused right on the core hardware that's powering this revolution.
Now, all this focus on hardware has naturally led investors to the giants who build it, companies like NVIDIA and Google. But as you can see right here, their stock performance has started to diverge. It makes you wonder, who do you follow? But maybe that's the wrong question to be asking in the first place. So what if the obvious players aren't the whole story? Let's look past the hype for a second and find a quieter, but maybe much more powerful trend.
For years now, it feels like all the attention has been on the companies that build the AI infrastructure.
But the real transformation, the real game changer, is happening with the companies that use it to become faster, smarter, and way more profitable.
We're calling these companies the AI adopters, and we're not talking about some flashy tech startups here. We're talking about established, traditional companies, in sectors like banking, retail, and logistics, that are quietly weaving AI into the very core of how they operate. And look, this isn't just a theory. Let's check out some real-world examples of how this is already playing out across a bunch of different industries. Just look at this. Walmart is using AI assistants for both its customers and its staff. UPS is automating more than 90% of its digital transactions, and FedEx is building a digital twin, a virtual copy of its entire network, to predict problems before they even happen. These are game-changing shifts in operations, not just some tech novelties.
And it is happening all over the place. JP Morgan is chasing real, tangible productivity gains. AIG is speeding up insurance claims. It's even in your lunch. Wendy's is automating drive-thrus, and Chipotle has a robot named Chippy, I love that, making its tortilla chips.
So what does all this mean? This quiet but widespread productivity boom. What does it mean for the market? Well, it suggests we might be on the verge of a major rotation in how investors think about the whole AI opportunity.
Think of it like a gold rush, right? The early hype is always about the companies selling the picks and shovels. In our case, that's the AI enablers, like NVIDIA. But the long-term wealth is often created by the miners who actually use those tools to find the gold. And those are our AI adopters, the ones digging up real productivity gains. We're actually seeing this shift toward tangible value in other places too. Take gold versus Bitcoin. They used to move together, but recently investors have been favoring the proven value of gold over the more speculative promise of Bitcoin. This could be a perfect mirror for a potential shift from the promise of AI enablers to the proven results of AI adopters.
And this isn't just a theory. It is happening in the market right now.
Data shows professional investors are selling some of those hype tech stocks and buying into sectors like healthcare. It's a clear signal that the hunt for real, tangible value is on.
So let's bring this all together. What's the key takeaway as we try to navigate this next phase of the AI revolution?
You know, this quote from a market analyst really says it all. The initial hype for the AI shovel sellers is maturing. Now the market is starting to look for the proof. They want to see the real-world results of this whole AI revolution.
And that brings us right back to our main question. In this massive AI gold rush, who really wins? As the hype starts to settle, the smart money might not be on the loudest companies, but on the ones that are quietly and effectively putting these incredible new tools to work.